Okay, so tomorrow is Guru Purnima. Reading through Bhagwan's Gospel, and there was an anecdote of Ribhu Gita that reminded me the story of a Guru Ribhu. So I thought tomorrow being Guru Purnima, the story of Ribhu would be a very good story. Here was a Guru who was a very, of course, he was a Sadguru who had, whose aim was to make his disciple Nisagdha, I believe is the name, Nisagdha. He wanted his disciple to realize the Brahman and there is nothing else. Be completely self-realized and put that to practice. Basically, mind as an introverted act, nothing else. Now, Nisagdha was a good student, but he was not into at least the realization part of it. He had not realized that verily within he was the Brahman, everything was within. So the real you, the real I, all that. So, but theoretically he had all the complete knowledge of Vedanta. So after his tutelage with his guru, perhaps he went back to the city and he practiced his yajna and did his, probably his livelihood, doing his ceremonial duties of, as a Brahman, doing his yajna and everything. And the guru once in a while would go to see how his disciple is practicing. Has he gone inward or is he still, still is he in the Aparabha Vidya mode, or is he into Parav Vidya within the self-awareness and all that. So when the sage Ribhu would go to see his disciple Nisagdha in the town, he would always go in disguise so that the disciple does not recognize him. Perhaps sage Ribhu was like Kamal Hassan. He did a good, makeup, would be not recognized perhaps. So one time he had gone, and when he had gone into the city, the town, there was a big procession going on. And he finds his disciple Nisagdha also standing in the street, watching the king's procession. So he goes next to the king, his disciple, as a rustic mendicant, so that the Nisagdha doesn't know it is his guru. So he says, child, what is going on? He says, can't you see this is a big procession going on? He says, what procession? I don't see anything. He says, look there. There is an elephant. On the elephant is coming the king. Can't you see that? And the old man bends and says, yeah, but I don't know who is the elephant, who is the king. I see, there's, and then Nisagdha gets frustrated. What do you mean you don't know who is the elephant, who is the king? The elephant is the animal, and on that animal is the king. Sitting on top of it is coming in a procession. You can't see that. And the guru, the rustic mendicant, Ribhu, sage Ribhu, dressed as rustic mendicant, says, child, I don't, who exactly is the elephant here? What is below? What is above? I'm not understanding all this. He says, oh, you don't understand. And Nisagdha gets very frustrated by this time. I will teach you who is above, who is below, who is carrying who. Bend down. Let me sit on your shoulder. And anyway, I can see the king better. So, and I'll tell you all about who is above, who is below. So the sage also complies, and he kneels down, and Nisagdha sits on his shoulder and now lift me up. And he says, you see now, I am above you. I am above you. You are below me. Do you get that now? And like that, the king is above the elephant. The elephant is below the king. The king is explaining him the finest detail. And the sage Ribhu says, I got the above and below and all now, but I still am not getting who is I and who is you. Can you explain that part? What differentiates I from you? And when he brought this point of I and you, Nisagdha knew that was Vedantic, So, the moment you think about who am I, who is this I, who is this you, Nisagdha immediately jumped down and says, oh Guru, pardon me, I forgot to recognize you. You came to remind me to continue my Vedanta Atma Vichara, and that's the setting of around 300-400 pages of Ribhu Gita, where the sage Ribhu has come once again to remind his student what the Atma Vidya is. I thought this is a good preamble of a story about how much a guru really cares for a Shishya, because tomorrow being the Guru's Purnima, we all have to pay our respects to our respective Gurus, many Gurus, but few are here. So, likewise, I thought this might be a good anecdote to start our Guru Purnima Eve. Ribhu Gita is all about asserting I am Brahman within, I am Brahman within. And it comes again. And I have read it few here and there, not in a very thorough manner, but someday. Arunachal.